Bitcoin is pumping in the weekend. We have to be a little bit cautious because the CME gap is also still open. Bitcoin is also showing very interesting signals everywhere. I will have a look at different time frames with you and I will discuss some different formations. Watch this video all the way to the end and I will give you all the information you need to be updated about the coming week. I will also have a look at the altcoins Vechain and Bittensor TAO. Let's dive right into the charts. On the 1 hour time frame we can see Bitcoin is pumping on the weekend and we are grinding away from this CME gap at $56,350. So I'm expecting that Bitcoin is coming back down after this big pump on the weekend and that we eventually close this CME gap. Maybe we close it today already or maybe in the beginning of Monday. But yeah, I expect that we're going to see this CME gap getting closed, and that's not a bad thing to see because we want to see this CME gap getting closed because this gap acts like a magnet, and we want to close the CME gap so we can continue the healthy price action for Bitcoin in the coming week. And with this beautiful pump of yesterday, we saw a lot of liquidations coming into the market. And yeah, we saw 171 million liquidations coming into the market, so that is a huge amount. And yeah, a lot of people were shorting, of course, and with the pump to the top side, a lot of bears are getting wrecked, and the liquidations are getting coming in. And this is a beautiful thing to see because last week we saw a lot of long liquidations getting flushed, and they also were liquidated. And now it's the other way around, so the bears are getting liquidated. And a lot of shorters are going out of the market, and that's a beautiful thing to see. And with this recent pump, we can also see that Bitcoin is separating itself from this lower side support trend line. And we can beautifully see that this support is holding strong for now. As I was expecting that we're going to see a bounce from this level, we're now already up for a lot of percentages. We're already up for more than 7%, so that is an insane gain for now. So expect for Bitcoin that we're going to see a little bit downside. Close this CME gap here and yeah, maybe continue the uptrend from here, and that could maybe have a positive effect of the trend reversal. And because we are in this huge downtrend on the daily time frame, and we need to see a break to the top side, and eventually we want to see a trend reversal of this huge downtrend getting broken. So for now we have to be a little bit patient, and we want to see that Bitcoin is going to revisit this top side resistance of this broadening wedge and eventually break this resistance on the top side, force a break to the top side, retest the previous resistance as support, and from there we can aim for higher targets. But yeah, this looks a little bit far away, but maybe we can see some similar price action as we saw here, that we're going to see more exponential move to the top side, because also here we saw a downtrend, we broke it to the top side and the trend was reversed, and from here we saw another trend break to the downside. So maybe we can see a trend to the top side again and create more bullish price action. Last week we had a lot of bearish news, and also the German government was going to sell their Bitcoin. But yesterday the wallet of the German government was surprisingly buying millions of Bitcoins back, and they bought more than 111 million in Bitcoin. And everyone was very surprised because everyone thought that the German government will just sell their Bitcoin onto the market, but they almost bought 2000 Bitcoin. And they were worth 111 million, so that is a huge, interesting article. This could also mean that the German selling pressure is not as big as we all thought, and maybe we can now aim for higher targets after this selling pressure is getting out of the market. And another interesting signal I've been warning you about yesterday was this regular bullish divergence. We saw a lower low on the chart and a higher low on the RSI chart, so that means that we are going to see a huge regular bullish divergence. Yeah, and it's a little bit played out like expected. We are now seeing a little bit of a bounce. We are seeing a bounce on the RSI as well. So yeah, that was having a bullish effect on the price. When a certain price is going very hard down, we also see a very exponential move to the top side as well. So this was also a huge warning signal that Bitcoin is going to see more upside from here. And let's see if Bitcoin can continue the trend to the top side in the next week. The horizontal levels for Bitcoin on the daily time frame looking a little bit more bearish. We can see Bitcoin was creating this double top formation and also a triple bottom. So we saw a lot of negativity coming into the market in the last weeks. And yeah, we broke this last support on the downside. And now we are retesting this support as resistance. So we could also see this as a bearish retest, and that we have to go to aim for lower targets from here. So we could expect a rejection from this point. Of course, we want to see a regain of this area and then see more upside, and then we can confirm the trend reversal to the top side. But yeah, for now this looks a little bit more bearish and the trend is down, so we can maybe expect more downside from here. And eventually the last support on the downside will be the $52,000. So that is a very interesting zone I'm looking at. And if Bitcoin reaches this zone of support, I will buy the dip heavily, because this is an interesting place for me to accumulate more Bitcoin. And if we are at this $52,000 support, I will look at more lower prices as well. But for now, this is the most interesting level for Bitcoin to look at. And this is the downside level. And we also have a topside level, of course, and that is the first big level will be around the $60,000, and that's the first big resistance to gain. And from there we can maybe aim for high prices with more bullish price action. I also want to have a look at the Bitcoin stock to flow model. You can see the red line in the middle, and that is the average price of a bull cycle. So we're currently at the average price, and yeah, if the coming bull cycle will have an exponential effect, then yeah, according to this stock to flow model, we are going to see levels around the $450,000 on average. So yeah, we could also maybe see a spike like this above this line. And every cycle we saw a huge spike above it. So yeah, we could also see a spike above it, of course. But yeah, if we're going to see the average price getting hit, that would be an insane target, of course. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this stock to flow model, and if you think we're going to see an average price in the coming bull cycle of $450,000. And the first altcoin I want to have a look at is Vechain. Vechain also has been in this huge downtrend on a daily time frame. We can see a lot of bearish price action for Vechain unfolding, and we came all the way from 5 cents, and we dropped all the way to yeah, below the 2 cents. So that is very bearish if you ask me. But on the weekly time frame we can see something interesting occurring for Vechain. We can see this beautiful support is getting hold strong for now, and we can see a beautiful weekly candle. Of course it's in the red, but we are seeing a huge wick on the downside, and that indicates that the bulls are stepping into the market. Liquidity is getting grabbed on the lower side, and yeah, for now the support is holding strong, and we may see a little bit more upside from here, and that would be very bullish. But eventually we want to see a bullish break, and we want to see a trend reversal to the top side, and then we can confirm yeah, more bullish price action for Vechain. But for now this huge support level on the weekly time frame is holding strong for Vechain. So let's see what Vechain will bring us in the next week. And let me know in the comments if you think Vechain is still a good hold and still a good long-term play. And yeah, let me know what you think about Vechain in the long term. Another interesting altcoin AI project is Bittensor TAO. We can see Bittensor TAO is in this huge downtrend on the daily time frame as well. We can see a huge falling wedge. In March we saw TAO created the top. On the 11th of April, TAO was listed on Binance, and we saw a huge all-time high. And from there we saw a little bit more downside on the daily time frame. And we can see TAO is currently at this huge daily support level. And yeah, for now the support is getting hot strong, and it's also confluent with the downside support of this falling wedge. So this could act as a double support on the daily time frame, and we could see a bounce from this level, a revisit of this upper side resistance, because we have a huge resistance here of the falling wedge, and we want to see a break to the top side, retest the previous resistance as support, and from there aim for high targets. But for now this huge falling wedge is interesting to see, because a falling wedge is a typical bullish bias pattern, and yeah, eventually we want to see a trend break, and the trend is going to be reversed to the top side. But for now we have to be a little bit more patient, and we can see this huge support on the downside is holding strong for now. Bittensor TAO is a very interesting project to look at, and and if we break the falling wedge, the breakout target of this falling wedge will be the top side of the formation, and that will be around $750. So yeah, from the point of breakout, let's see if we break out here, that would be an interesting gain of 170%, so that is insane. But for now we have to be a little bit patient that the support is holding strong on the lower side, and that eventually we want to see more bullish price action for TAO coming into the market. But I think Bittensor TAO was one of the most interesting projects in the coming bull cycle. So this was it for today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and follow my YouTube channel to never miss a video in the future. I hope you find this video useful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.